All
I'm
right,
just going to
that's all right.
say we are joined by the legend that is Marcus Damanda.
Well, thank you for that. Um, you know, it's wonderful to be here. Happy to be here. Happy to take any Stellar Toy. There it is. Happy to take any questions anybody may have. So, anything I can do to keep things going, keep it interesting, you just let me know.
Thank you, lovely. Um, I will just start on the writing origins questions. I think
Mhm. Sure.
we'll start off with those sort of things, and I think probably a good one to start with would be to just ask you when you started sharing your writing with a wider audience.
Right. I've been trying since I was 15, and I'm convinced I'm the most rejected author living in America. Because I didn't really get anything to work until I was in my late 30s, early 40s, and all that was very, very small. I would say the first real publication I had that mattered and resonated and continues to resonate would be when I published probably The Devil in Miss Drake's Class through Evernight Publishing. That was right before I got in with No Sleep, by the way. And when I got a letter from that publisher saying, "Yeah, we'll publish it," I was so used to being rejected, I didn't know how to take success.
I couldn't believe it for a minute.
I didn't I didn't know what to do. So but yeah, that's a very vivid memory for me. It was late in life for me, so I tell everybody who's frustrated and they're like in their 30s and worried that life is passing them by. Plenty of writers hit their stride well after 30. Um, you know, so so there you go. It all happened relatively recently for me. I've been publishing in one form or another since 2013, and I'm very grateful for all that I've had the opportunity to do.
Well, we're very grateful that you do it, Marcus. um, what was the first thing that you wrote then that was that you think was well received and
Would probably be the first one that was well received. I would say would have been Teeth back in 2004. And it's funny because just about all the reviews were positive. It just didn't go very far because it was kind of a collaborative publishing venture with Outskirts Press that I actually wouldn't really recommend to anybody. But it was a good place to get started, and I understand I was a big hit at the Colorado airport, where
oh,
they kept having to order more copies of it.
oh
Uh,
wow.
I don't live anywhere near Colorado, and I never did anything there, but apparently it took off. That's also the first book that included the character Summer. Um,
Oh,
although
I'm
she was
loving summer. I,
Well, thank you. She's only a side character in Teeth and the Forever Show, but the school library agreed to carry those two books, and Summer was nothing. The lead characters were Alexis and Nicholas. For anyone who's read those books, they know what I'm talking about. But anyway, Summer was this minor character, and all the girls in my middle school, when they made it available at the library had me buy a bunch of copies to sell, and they made me their author that one month, and I never saw so many girls, 12, 13-year-old girls walking the schools at Benton wearing tie-dye shirts and wearing red wigs as I probably never will again. But so yeah, the summer's first big hit was with middle school girls, not the No Sleep podcast. Um, Oddly enough,
I
yeah,
the thing with Summer is she's obviously very naughty, but
yeah,
you can't help but root for her. You know, like when she left that
yeah.
hospital. Oh my God.
Oh my! Oh, you're talking stories 3 and 4.
Oh
Um,
man.
you're talking Silent Treatment and Eating the Machine.
Yeah. Oh, eating the
Eating the
machine.
Machine got me a lot of blowback. I got a lot of people yelling at me about that story, and um, and I she is my force of chaos, and she's gonna do what she's gonna do. But the thing that I always try to keep in mind with Summer, and I'm always writing her. I'm halfway through the next one.
Good.
The is that she does all these terrible things, but when I do her well, she does them in unpredictable ways. So it's, or at least that's always the goal. So yeah, and that's one of the things I'm hoping to have coming up relatively in the relatively near future. Little tidbit for the listeners who like summer. I appreciate all of you. The upcoming story will be called "The Boardwalk Furies." So see if you can figure out what that's going to be about.
Yes.
Tell my kids at school that your teacher's an angel. He's the devil.
Oh no.
Oh gosh. Now we have to
Uh,
record this and submit it for proof.
oh,
Right.
but
So I was just telling Marcus how much I love summer. Um
that's
and
very kind of you. She's
just
a very polarizing figure.
she
Um,
is, but I just think like that's a great character because like if it's somebody who is obviously not a good guy, but you're still rooting for them, I think
right.
that's great, great, love it.
And there's a lot to why she is the way she is.
Yeah,
Also,
exactly.
I think
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I think to get summer, and it's tough on like for people who get summer through the No Sleep podcast. It's a job finding out where all the stories are. Yeah, it wasn't like with This Book Will Kill You or with Goat Valley Campgrounds. I listen to the show. I love the show. Where they just commissioned a series, um, you know, twice a year maybe I come up with a summer story. Sometimes it's once every 3 years, and then I toss it their way. And since story number 12, the podcast has had a requirement that they all have to be standalone. I used to write them in pairs. Uh, if you
Eat.
go back to the first 12, all the odd number stories are the buildup, and all the even number stories are the payoff. Um, so I used to send them in twos,
Yeah.
and they used to do them like back to back weeks.
Well,
That is great. I did not realize that there was a pairing of the stories and that you used to do it that way. I had no idea
Yeah.
that had ever been like that.
Well, when I wrote the first one, I didn't know I was going to write the second one. But after the second one, three and four were a pair, five and six, seven and eight, nine and 10, 11 and 12. Those were all each of those pairs was written as one big story, and then I went through and cut each pair in half.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. But there's talking about the Civil War era one. That would be three pieces. The Casper origin story. I'm really glad you liked that, Mr. Plantain. That was one that didn't have as much summer in it. It really was Casper's story, and I was very. That was the biggest job of research I've ever had in my life. Getting the Battle of Gettysburg right for Casper, and I'm very proud of it. So it's nice to hear that story come up. Oh, you guys are so nice. Where is Casper? Dang it! Now, JT, I have to tell you, I haven't. I know where Casper is, but that answer has to be revealed in a future story when I get to it. As to where he is right now, there's a major conflict coming, and after I
ooh,
retire from teaching, that's one of the things on my do list.
I can't wait. You're going to speed up when you retire. It's amazing.
I'm hoping so. Thousand, yeah. Oh, well, there won't be any more Thousand Ghost story. That's Laura Murray, my friend at work, as Kiwi O'Fleur asking that. Thousand Ghosts are all wrapped up.
Oh, nice.
That No Sleep series ends with the book series, The Devil in Miss Drake's Class. That's the end of the Thousand Ghosts story. And then there's one more that did appear on kind of like a footnote called "It Came Out of the Rain," where one more little creepy thing happened. Yeah, that story. I'm very proud of it. I'm very happy with where it is. I don't want to mess it up. I'm not going to overdo it. And there's very few things I would put the never button on. Very, very few things I would ever do that to. But the Thousand Ghost story to me is complete.
Cool. Cool. Okay. How about we ask you what drew you into writing horror? I mean, you do it so well, but you are such a little sweetie, and look at your little angelic face and the things you come out with, Marcus Damanda.
I know, they're bad. No, they're bad. Yeah, naughty.
Yes.
But I've done some stuff. I still can't excuse that story of the house sitters from
Oh,
back in
oh,
the day.
sorry.
But how did I get it? When I started writing at age 9, I was emulating Tolkien and Moorcock and fantasy authors and things like that. And I did that until about 12. By 12, I'd been in the private school I attended for 3 years, and I was getting very angry and bitter and rebellious. And my head went to some very objectionable places in the eyes of my teachers and administration at that private school. And the more they barked at me about not doing it, the more I feverishly did it. And I sneaked my stories into the school. I had them taken from me. I had them torn up in front of my face.
Oh,
But you do that to a 13-year-old kid, what do you expect?
yeah.
You're going to get some blowback from that. You know, yeah, Kibo Fleur, we taught 10 years together. Good friend. She also saw No Sleep with me live a couple times, including the first time I saw them. So,
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
which was always, yeah.
exciting.
But yeah, so I started writing horror as an act of rebellion. And it's funny, the teachers objected to it, but I'd come home and my parents had no problem.
No, good.
You know, but
Well,
I should have been more forthcoming with them about other things at the school,
mm,
but I wasn't. Anyway, we all have stuff.
yeah. So, Marcus,
Yeah.
clearly you have quite a versatile range and a plethora of work. I'm curious to know what work or piece of story, something along the lines of that, that you wrote that you consider to be your first success in writing.
Well, I was saying before, I think the first one, I'm going to answer that a different way this time because before I said
Okay.
The Devil in Miss Drake's Class, which was the series that Evernight Publishing took on for the first time. But I think the first time I had a legit hit on No Sleep was probably the Paris Green solution. Um,
Mm,
I'd had a few stories on before that, and none of them were received poorly. Everybody's always so nice, but the Paris Green solution about the that's part of the Thousand Ghosts series. That's one with the girl in the wheelchair who's visited by a doctor who's supposed to come and help her get over polio, and he comes with a far more devious solution to her problem in mind. So for those who haven't heard it, I'll let it go at that. But that story really helped uh, put me on the map at No Sleep, and I can only credit Jessica McAvoy at the podcast because she told me to write that one. I told her she was reading The Devil in Miss Drake's Class, and she met the character that the Paris Green solution is central to, and she said, "I want that character's backstory," and it was Jessica McAvoy. So I said, "Yes, ma'am."
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's pretty much all there was to that. Um, yeah, but yeah. Well, thank you, If I appreciate you saying that you enjoyed that story. I'm very proud of it.
What would you say are the sort of elements that you like to write about the most in horror? Is there any sort of things that you feel like you lean towards that you enjoy more?
I like putting kids in trouble.
mm,
Um,
Hey, don't we all? Oh, and stories.
for sure. You know, I like putting kids in trouble in a big way, and I don't know why that is necessarily, but I do think that childhood characters are, I mean, just the inherent innocent, wide-eyed staring at this broad universe nature of childhood really lends itself well to horror because who's going to be
Mm,
more affected by terrifying? I mean, for crying out loud, we all remember our childhood terrors, night terrors, and things like that. I mean, everything's amplified with kids. To us, it's a horror story, it's a horror movie. To them, it's a hellscape. Uh,
gosh,
I got
but
laser movies.
is Jess
well,
still
I'm sorry,
here?
I
Jess
heard something
Jess
about.
does good kiddie scary kid stories. She's good at that as well.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, there's a there. other familiar, names. S.H. Cooper is good with that kind of thing.
Ah, yeah.
She's the one that taught me the term wholesome horror. Um, although she usually writes grown-ups. But having said that, and I've had the two of the people you got coming on. I mean, at least I've met S.H. Cooper, Man and Lysette, both good friends of mine, wonderful writers. So, but
Lovely people.
and your book from the Dark Observatory last
Oh,
saw.
you are
Oh my
so
gosh.
kind about that. Thank you so much.
Well, of course.
Yes.
Eric,
So,
have we met?
hi, Eric.
Eric, I'm so sorry if I just, gosh. Well, hello, Eric. How are you doing? Yeah, I hope I
Well,
haven't
yes.
forgotten anybody.
I am curious. I don't know if
Mhm.
you've talked about this already, but you've mentioned the Devil and Miss Drake's class. That's being a trilogy that was published by Ever 19, kind of where your
Mhm.
start for writing children's and horror kind of got a takeoff or began. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you got to be in workings with that company, Evernight Publishing? What led you to
Mhm.
go work with them?
The Lord of the Rings Online. I was playing with an editor for Evernight, and I let it out that I was a writer, and she said, "Really? I'm an editor at Evernight Teen." I said, "Really?" She said, "Well, what do you write?" I said, "Well, anything teens want to read. How about that?" Uh, I'm a hopeless shill, you know. I spent my whole life prior to that sending out, usually in physical mail with like postage, uh, dozens, hundreds of manuscripts. So if I was going to get lucky and just roll into a contact by accident, I was going to thank God, be grateful, and not complain. And she said, "Yeah, sure. Send this to me. You'll still have to put it through the acquisition editor." But you know how that is. All these people know each other. So I said, absolutely. Here it is. And the publisher took it. And the person I played Lord of the Rings with at night was editing that book during the day, you know, and we would talk about it while, storming Mordor in the evenings. So, yeah.
That is
But
great. It's very great. Um, let's see. Have we touched on much of anything else, Lysel? I'm sorry I'm late.
Don't you worry. I would love to ask you at the moment because obviously you're a teacher. How do you
yeah.
fit in your writing into your commitments there? Do you know what your
Good question.
how do you
Yeah,
fit it all in, Marcus?
I there was a period of time. Oh, how do I fit the writing in?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first thing I do when I get up. Like I got up today at 3:30. I was writing by 4:30, and I was in the car by 6:30. And so whatever you read from me, I guarantee you was written before the sun came up, because that's the routine I follow every day.
Mm.
And even on the weekends, I keep my schedule. But and if it fails, like if I'm having a day where just the muse won't talk to me or whatever, I try to make up the words another day. But generally, I get up early every day. By the time I get home from work, I'm in no shape to be creative. The kids have sucked it right
They've
out of me.
sucked out your will
But,
to live.
well, it's just that it's a high energy job. I mean, I love doing. I wouldn't have done it for 30 years if I didn't like doing it. But it's a high energy job, and the older you get, it doesn't get any easier for
Yeah.
sure. So,
Yeah.
um, but
I admit,
I,
I thought that you were about to say, it's not writing I have trouble making time for, it's my teaching. I thought that's what you were about to say earlier.
see, that's the thing. No matter what, the kids show up. So, um, so you got to make time for that. But I'm retiring at the end of this year after 30 years, and I'm looking forward to it. So.
I'm
Lovely
looking
little
forward to the
plan.
extra stories.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. This year has been so crazy. I haven't gotten as much written as usual. So I don't want the people at No Sleep or anywhere else to think that I've forgotten them. I'm going to get right back to it as soon as I can, and I've got some stuff coming up. But oh, if thank you again. I appreciate you. Be careful of my Facebook right now. It's been hacked. Don't believe anything
Oh,
you see
yeah.
there.
I couldn't tag you, Marcus. I was so sad. I had cat photos for you.
Oh, you. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But but anyway, yeah, that's another thing. I'm gonna repopulate the apartment with a cat once I get retired too. So
Oh, oh,
yeah,
that's
definitely
good.
definitely gonna get back to oh, you and me both, Raz. If and I don't want to spend this time talking about that, but if I could just say one thing to the person who hacked my account is I'd like to congratulate him for finding a job he could do from the basement of his mother's house.
Ah,
Um,
ah.
and and that's apart from that, I don't have much else to say about that douchebag. Sorry.
I think Rose told them off as well, didn't you, Rose?
I mean, you said me
Yeah.
just the right thing.
Yeah. So Rose has always had my back. She's the best.
She is.
Um,
She's wonderful.
yeah.
That's
Like,
good. Glad to hear that. Lysel's been telling me about that, and I'm just really glad that you have a lot of people on your side that have been really, really trying to do. Um,
oh,
He's got a little army of us.
I know, and I'm grateful for that, and I just wish but I know for a fact people have been ripped off. And
Oh,
so, that's what bothers me more than anything. But again, I don't want to spend any more time on that. Here, I'll give you one of the questions I saw on the list. I can't let this one go without answering it.
okay.
Something that scared you to death as a child was the movie Trilogy of Terror, and only the last half hour of it, because it was three stories, and the first two were absolute dreck. They were terrible. But the third one, the one with the with the Zuni fetish doll, was it remains terrifying to I can't watch it in one sitting now. I still can't. And that was a made-for-TV movie. That was somebody who knew how to direct because he could be scary and get it past the censors. And that's a real that's a real measure of prowess. But Trilogy of Terror scared me to death as a child.
Yeah, I hated the doll too.
Yeah, that's all. Right? Just leave its necklace on, man. Leave its necklace alone.
It's something about those things. It's like normally it doesn't bother me, but then I'm watching Poltergeist and I'm like, who bought you this giant clown? Propped it up on a rocking
Uh,
chair right at
you
the end
know,
of your bed
hey,
for the
you're
world's
talking
longest jump scare.
1982 Poltergeist. That's one of my favorites too.
oh yeah.
And that was a PG and still managed to
Insanely
scare the
so.
pants off of everybody in the theater. I mean, for crying out loud. And Poltergeist 2 had some of the funniest stuff in it
Oh
I've ever.
yes,
The
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 Native
kid being
American.
attacked by its braces was just wonderful. Um,
Goodness.
but yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
No, that just reminded me of the doll, the clown. Why is it always those things?
it's always one of those. That's
I
how I
have a
got Winnie the
creepy
Walking
bird.
and Talking Doll. I simply said to myself, I don't have a scary doll story on the podcast yet. Must have a scary doll story. So,
Oh,
you know.
myself, can I go get my creepy nun?
Yes,
Oh,
There. Okay. I said nurse, it's actually a nun.
you may.
Repossessed with Linda Blair, Eric. Linda Blair reprising and Repossessed. I know that cult classic. All right, the creepy nun. Let's see the creepy nun. Oh, perfect. That's perfect. I got a
She
creepy
is
doll
an
too. Can I
excellent
show
piece.
mine? I know we got
Yes.
I know I got authors behind me. Hold on. Hold on. Just a second.
My bad. My fault.
What
Oh
I'm wearing
man,
pants.
I haven't got any handy creepy dolls. I've just got the pegs.
Hold on.
Um, for those of you
This
who
one is
know the oh my goodness,
We will gladly wait for creepy
the
dolls, you.
series of the movies with the nun in them.
Yeah.
Let's get the couple that investigate into mysteries.
Yeah.
Conjuring. The
Oh
Conjuring.
man,
Hi.
Conjuring. That's it.
yeah.
Seriously.
Creepy
My nun
doll,
reminds
thrift
me
shop doll.
of setting a trend.
Yeah.
So many
Right.
random things that we can pull out from behind me, and I bet you none of them will be my headphones. We'll get to that story another time. So, Marcus, Um, I'm kind of curious a little bit more about your writing process.
Sure.
Can you tell
Uh-huh.
us about how you go about you get an idea and then you
Mhm.
take it from an idea to something that's actually workable, a draft, a plot, an outline, whatever it is, something that
A box
starts to
of
become
note cards.
recognizable.
Yeah,
How
it's a
does that?
box of note cards in my case. I keep computer files. I'm not that backwards, but it starts on note cards, and I just write down every cool idea I have, and then I put them in the order they would need to happen to make sense, and then I start putting things on the computer and putting it in a way that makes sense.
I
So
like it.
I write in the morning with coffee, and I edit at the night with beer.
Excellent.
So I can come home from the
Do
kids
it.
and I can do the edit job. That I can do. I just can't do composition after the kids. So yeah,
Right.
but yeah, it goes from note cards to computer. So in my case,
Everyone has a system for
yeah.
sure. Um, I guess I would be curious to know if you have any influences to your writing, be it a
Mhm.
person, be it a work of me. It's hard to say art because that art's all encompassing. That's what I mean by that. Just influenced by something or someone.
Well, one thing I will say is that I've been, while working with them, I've been influenced by listening to the No Sleep podcast. When you get a sense of what people like, and you do write for an audience after all. It is an entertainment job. I look at it that way. But at the same time, I mean, I grew up on what everybody of my generation grew up on. I grew up on Stephen King. He wasn't my favorite author, but he was my favorite horror author. And 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 he wrote kids very well, and he wrote dial and he continues to write dialogue very well. I have my other complaints, but I'm not going to criticize Stephen King from down here right now. uh, but he's very good with kids, he's very good with dialogue, and he's very entertaining. He gets that people sit down to disappear into a story, and not to analyze it, not to pick it apart, not to kill the joy of the story, but to write it. And that is something that I had a sense of from the time I was 13 on. Even when he hasn't been at his best, he's always had that noble goal, which I fully appreciate. So, um,
This reminds me of a question we actually I think we took it off. So I'm not going to really ask it, but I think it was something along the lines of, are you a Stephen King fan? Do you hate Stephen King? Or are you somewhere in the middle?
I love Stephen King, but I love Stephen King the way you love Family. That sometimes they make you crazy.
Yes.
Um, but I think when Stephen King is at his best, there's nobody better. When he's at his best, there's nobody better.
I definitely
But he's
appreciate
written a
that.
lot of stuff.
Yeah.
When somebody's written as much stuff as Stephen King, it can't all be golden.
That was kind of my impression. In high school, for whatever reason, everyone just told me, don't read Stephen King, don't read Stephen King. And I was like, okay. And I'd never seen anything. We didn't have them in our little library in the middle of nowhere.
Right? Sure.
And I think the only book I heard about was Carrie. And the way the
Mhm.
person described it is they had drummed up the bullying. And I was like, well, I don't want to read a book about bullying not knowing really what was it was all about. To me, it sounded like they were saying bullying is okay, and we're just going to go around bullying people in the story. My friend terribly explained that story.
Right. Well, I think that story is about what does it take to push the absolute sweetest lamb of a soul over the edge.
Yes,
And I think he did a very poetic job of answering that.
I
So,
got to reread it again just this last October, so it's very fresh in my mind in terms of Stephen
yeah.
King.
The
I
mother character, holy cow.
Oh my goodness.
Um, what a villain. She's perfect.
It's a great for a villain. I mean, we always have the villainous stepmother in fairy tale history,
Sure. Yeah.
mythology, I should say. So it kind of makes sense to just take it to the mother character, especially when
Sure.
you have that religious undertones that are in the story of Carrie.
Yeah, he's done it plenty of times with mother characters and father characters too. That whole troubled childhood thing. He's mined that for, like I said, a big influence of mine. When I did a Christmas story once about an abused child, and and I didn't think about it at the time, but I'm sure it was informed in at least in some part by growing up reading Stephen King and what his characters have gone through. It's impossible not to have your own experience, you know, and your own tastes and likes and loves. It gets into the writing. You can't help it. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't. So, but if yeah, that's been the knock on Stephen King forever. His endings, right? They couldn't bear to do Stephen King's ending for The Long Walk, and it was a good idea not to. Great book, crappy ending. Um,
Well, thank you for answering the question we took off the list.
no, no worries, no worries. I'll answer anything. But again, so the you know, one thing I want to say about this before I go, because I know you have other authors. One of the things about Dearest Summer for the folks here who get it, who've gotten it through the podcast, or at least some of it, these are 12 of the currently 16 summer stories, the first 12, and all in one place with a wraparound story that wasn't done by the podcast, that goes in through it, and the different and the one reason I talk about this book, as opposed to the other collections I have, because I have a bunch of collections, is this one comes together into one tale. Story number 12 is the end of the summer series. Everything I've done with summer since happens after the critical transformation that occurs at the end of story 12. So I look at summer 1 through 12 as one thing, and then summer since, which was Amateur Night and Three Pieces and Superstar, I look at those as like guest appearances, more than as the series, if you
Yeah,
follow what I'm
yeah.
saying. But this is the whole series.
It's
The
fantastic.
well, thank you. I'm very proud of it, and so I do hope whoever wins it, I hope they enjoy it tremendously.
Oh, they will.
I guess we should probably ask, do you have any plans for the future? Anything coming out? Any projects that you would like to share with us?
I have my friend Laura Murray KiwiO Fleur here is going to remind me I have a half-finished dystopian novel
Ooh.
that I need to get done. I also have the next coming up summer story halfway done, plus two other stories that are halfway done, and that's what my desk looks like all the time. Uh, so I don't know what to tell you. I have not been called by Netflix or HBO. There has
Yet.
when any of the writers put something out there online like big plans, but I can't tell you about it right now. I'm like, don't talk about a thing until it's a thing, man. But so I've always got the next stuff coming up. Always excited about it. Every time I'm on the show, it's like Christmas, and
Mm.
I don't have a book coming out immediately, but I'm getting close to where I can put out another collection. And
Oh,
this summer, I'm definitely going to get back to work on novels.
wonderful.
Hopefully a return to Dear Summer, if not it's exactly, but in spirit.
Absolutely. Well, she is my little tempest. You can be sure that if I am alive, I'm at work on summer in some way or another.
Well, thank you so
Excellent.
much,
Thank you,
Marcus.
Marcus.
And
Of
we
course.
appreciate you coming on. Thank you for being flexible with all the time things going on. And just, it was wonderful talking to you as always.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful being talked to and talking to you, and to see all the lovely people in the chat. And Joy, get some questions in for these other great authors. What a company to be a part of. I am honored to be a part of it. So
Oh,
thank you all. I
thank you.
hope to talk to you all soon again.
Thank you,
Bye,
Marcus. See
Marcus.
you
All right. Have a great
soon.
night.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.